Welcome back, everyone. The story that I'm about to tell you is actually based on real life story. So here is what actually happened. Back in 2020, a junior developer at a startup company was hired. So that was actually his first week on the job. He got excited, eager to impress his boss. So his boss asked him to fix a permission issue on the company's Linux server. So the permission issue was actually a file wasn't accessible. So it was actually a simple fix. So he googled it, found an answer on a forum, and it's told him to run this command sudo chmod -r777. So he hit enter. After that, in 0.3 seconds, every single file on that server was now readable, was writable, and deletable by every user, every processor, and every program running on that machine. So the customer database was exposed, their payment processing code exposed, their private keys exposed, and their password stored in a configuration file was still exposed. So the company found out after 6 hours. So when a bot automatically scanned the server, found the open permission, and started exfiltrating data. So they lost almost 3 years of customer data. They faced $400,000 in GDPR files, and that junior developer never worked in tech again. So I'm not actually telling you this story to scare you. I'm telling you this because that developer was not stupid, he was not careless, he was not a bad person. He just didn't understand what that command actually did. So nobody taught him, and that is exactly what you are watching this video right now. Because in part one of this series, you learn to navigate Linux server. In part two, you learn to create users and proof. But creating was actually pretty easy. But the hard part is when you know how to control and understand that's where you are powerful. So companies like this always hire people who knows how to control server, how to manage it. So if you can control who can own to your file, who can read, so you are pretty much good to go. By the end of this video, you will look at a Linux server and see something most people can see. You will see who owns what, you will see who has access to what, and you will understand exactly what's protected and what isn't. And you will never be that junior developer. So let's begin. Before you touch anything on the Linux server, before you read a file, before you run a command, or before you even change a permission, you need to answer this question. Who are you right now on this Linux server? This actually must sound very simple to you, but most people actually miss a lot of mistakes because every user have different kind of powers and command. Let's say right now you are in a company, you have more than 3 users, and each user have different kind of commands. If like now you change to another user that have the let's say the root user, and you import your command that's mostly if in the other command they won't have access to it, but if you touch it here, everybody in the world will have access to it. So that's actually kind of important. So to know who you are going to type who am I? Then enter. After that, as you can see right now, it's telling me Ubuntu. I am Ubuntu. So now to switch from one user to another, you need to type su dash then Muhammad, the sudo add user that we created in the last video, if you have watched it. Muhammad, then enter. Then you are going to type the password. As I told you, always remember the password that you use to create another user. Stop typing the password, then press enter. As you can see, I've switched back to Muhammad. I've switched to Muhammad as Muhammad IPO 172. I was 123. Switch back to your old user, you just have to press exit. Exit. Then enter. After that, you see it told me log out. I'll switch back right now. I'm Ubuntu IPO 172. So I'll switch back to my old user. Now to delete a user from your system, now to delete a Linux user in your server, you are going to type sudo user del, then the user you want to delete. Let's say James, since you have James as my user. After that, as you can see right now, I've touched sudo user del James and press enter. But before we even delete the user, let us see the user first. for you guys to confirm it. I know that I have a user named James, but let me show it to you guys. As I told you, to show different kind of users, you have to type get end group. Yes, end group. Plus, then enter. As you can see right now, I have user James. So I just have to delete it. So the last command I just told you, sudo user del, then James. As you can see, sudo user del, then James, then press enter. It showed me not to. So let us type get on group to see whether I've deleted the user. Now I'm going to show you how to delete a group. But groups are mostly simpler to delete than users. But there's one rule that will stop you before you if you don't know it. So let me show you the command first before we even start. Sudo group del, then the group name. Let's still delete developer. The, you can see right now sudo group del developer. So press enter. So now let's verify it whether it has been deleted. Get and enter. As you can see right now, I deleted developer, but user that was still in developer was not deleted. Like Muhammad right now, if you remember correctly, Muhammad was inside developer. So most of you might be thinking, why was it not deleted? So the group was just deleted. Think about it like a disbanded club member. The group was disbanded, but the members still exist. So right now, if you want to delete a group and the member too as well, now that we have finished talking about how to know who you are in your Linux server, how to switch from one user to another and exit from it, how to remove a user from your Linux server, how to remove group from your Linux server. The thing I'm going to teach you now is how to remove user from a group. As you can see right now, this HR right now, I just created a group. So HR slash Abigail. This HR is a group while the Abigail is a user. So and enter. Now I'm going to teach you how to remove a user from a group that you don't want it. So you're going to type sudo g as wd minus b, then Abigail, then HR, then enter. As you can see, it's telling me removing user Abigail from group HR. So let's type get end group C. As you can see right now, just remove Abigail from this HR group. Now that we are done with how to remove a user from a group, I'm going to show you something that most beginners don't know. That means how to change your ownership on an ownership of a file. Yes, an ownership of a file. There are currently right now two owners of a file. Let me show it to you. ls -l. Let's go with this file, my file.csv. As you can see right now, this minus rw minus rw minus rw minus r. I'll explain it later. But let's go with ubuntu slash ubuntu. This ubuntu right now is an owner of my file.txt, and this the second ubuntu here is a group. while this first Ubuntu is an owner. To change an owner of a file, you are going to type sudo, sudo chown, then the username you want to change it to. I'll go for Muhammad. Then the file name is my file.txt. Then enter. So let's type ls dash l. As you can see right now, I just changed the owner of the file to Muhammad. Let's try another one. My file2. Let's change it. Sudo chown. Then we go with Abigail. Then the file name file2. Then enter. Then ls dash l. As you can see, I've just changed this owner file to Abigail. Now, if you want to change the group owner of the file, as you can see right now, it's showing me Ubuntu is the group owner of this file. I want to change it to HR. So I'm going to type sudo change. I want to type sudo chgrp. Then the group name you want to change it to. I'll go for HR. Then file2, the file. Then enter. I think I made a mistake. Is sudo chgrp and hr file2, then enter. Then ls dash check the file. As you can see right now in this file 2, I just change it. The owner is currently Abigail and the group is HR. And that's actually much pretty easy. Now to change who can have access to each of the file. Let's say this RW right now is for the owner, because the owner right now can read and write, while the group can also read and write, while others can only read. But you know that there is another way. For this one right now, as you can see, for this Muhammad is still the same, read and write. But for this file 1, it's showing the owner can read, write, and execute, while the group can only read, while others can only write. Now, for you to change the command, is sudo. Now, to change the group permission, you are going to type sudo chmod 764. So most of you might be thinking, what is of this 7 and 64? So the 7, let me break it down. This R is for in binary operation, while the W write is 2, while the execute is 1. So combine everything together, it will be 7. Now the reason why I put in the first one 760 is that the owner can read, write, and execute. That's why when you combine everything together, it's 7. When the group can only read and write, because I did not add the 1. That's why it become only read and write. While others can only read, so that's why it became 4. Read, write, and execute. That's why it became 4, as you can see. So the R is 4, while the read is 2, while the execute is 1. That's why it became 7. Read, write, and execute. To change owner's permission. The first one is for the owners, while the second one is for the group, while the third one is for the others. I hope you guys understand. If you don't understand, you can type it on the comment section or explain clearer. So you are going to type, let me change it to file2, file2, then enter, then ls -l. As you can see right now, I just changed it. This Abigail The owner can read, write, and execute. While show me the owner can read, write, and execute. While the group can read and write, while others can only read. Now, if let's change Muhammad on to let owner can only read and write. That's 6. While the group can read, write, and execute. 7. While others can both read and while others can only write. That's 2. So press enter. Okay, I did not put type the group name. Then my file dot txt. Then ls dash l ls dash l. As you can see, that every time you saw it changed to this file to change to green. That's why, because I executed it. Well, this one to change to green. As you can see right now, it showed read, write, while others, the group can read, write, and execute, while others can only read. So I hope you understand this. But if you don't understand, you can get my attention through the comment section. I'll explain much clearer. Now, I want you to think about something. That junior developer from the beginning, the one who typed chmod 777 minus r without understanding it. The problem wasn't actually intelligence, wasn't in carelessness, it wasn't lack of understanding. Now look at you. You understand users, you understand groups, you understand ownership, and you understand permission. You can look at minus rwsr, minus xr, and even minus 0. And that's actually kind of professional without leaving a mess. And that's not beginner knowledge, that's a foundation level engineering knowledge. But here's the most important shit. Linux is not something about command. Linux is about structure on a real company server. HR must have access to employee record, finance must have access budget, legal must have access contract, while sales should not see financial projection, and intern should not touch executive files. So the CEO may need broad visibility but not reckless power. So in some types of organization, they don't give the owner permission to read, write, and execute. Can only read and write. Or sometimes it's only read and write. It's only read because he can't execute it because it's not his place to execute it. Only the group owners or the admin of the group has permission to read. So in part 4 right now, I'm not teaching you any new commands. I'm not teaching new commands. I'm building a real company structure from scratch. You are going to watch me create employees, create department groups, design company directories, and assign access control correctly, log down confidential document and transfer ownership properly, and test access between users and fix mistakes live. And you will not see the commands, but the decision behind them. So now in the next, but before that, I'm going to drop the file that I will be configuring in my next video so that you guys can use it as a case subject, whether you can be able to crack it. But don't worry, I'll still explain it in part 4, but I'll just drop it here so that to test out yourself, to sharpen your mindset. So have a nice day, everyone. We will meet in the next part.